Tropical Storm Cristobal. And we've been talking about the storm that it had a good chance to strengthen a bit as it moved in towards parts of the Central Gulf. Not real worried about it at this point. In fact, it's pulling off towards the north, getting very close, running out of real estate for any significant growth. And as it does move towards the north, we have winds at about 50 miles an hour. And I don't.
Hey guys, so today's video is going to be on a very serious subject, but please keep in mind that I'm not an expert on this subject, so take from this video what you can use and add to your preps, and hopefully this will help you in some way. But keep in mind, I'm not an expert on this subject. These are just some things that I do personally and that I've learned over the years. Listen guys, if this is your first time clicking on one of our videos, I'd like to say thank you for clicking on the video. Watch this video before you make a decision. If you like what you see, give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the videos. Click that notification bell so you'll get notified next time we put out a video. And don't forget to comment. Leave us a comment below. Tell us what you thought about the videos. Go back and watch our backlog of videos. And if you think your friends would like these kind of videos, share them with them too, please. All those things help. So I appreciate you guys clicking on it. And now let's get into the video. Hey, guess what, guys? It's hurricane season. That means it's time to get your preps ready. Do you have your stuff together? Let's talk about it. In this video, we're going to be talking about 12 basic hurricane preps. Number one, cash. You should have at least a couple of $100 cash on hand if you have to go out and get emergency supplies. After a hurricane with the power outages, some stores may open with a cash only basis. So in case you need some, unforeseen emergency supplies, you should have at least a couple of $100 cash on hand. You didn't really think I was going to give you my PIN number, did you? A good mix of denominations is preferred. With a power outage, it may be harder to make change. Now, number two is water. I prefer to use 5-gallon buckets of water versus the cases of bottled water. A lot of people don't realize that it takes about 7.5 bottles of water to make a gallon. So a 32 count case of water will only get you roughly 4 gallons of water. Decided to stop by Sonic on my run around through town.
Hi, thank you for choosing Sonic. May I take your order?
Yes, ma'am. Can I get 2 corn dogs? Okay, so number 3 is going to be food. Unlike the Sonic here, you're going to want to do foods that are easily prepared, preferably no cooked foods, or simple just add water foods. A lot of canned goods is great. Don't forget your snacks. You're going to need snacks, especially if you have kids. You're going to want some sort of snacks. So non-perishables and just add water foods is going to be your best bet. Love that grape slush with nerds. Hate these paper straws. Ruins my slushy experience. So number 4 is going to be some type of cook system. Now, if you're on a gas, natural gas, propane service, then that might not be a big deal for you. But if you cook with electricity, obviously it's going to be a big deal. I recommend trying to have groceries that you don't have to do a lot of cooking for, but some things are going to need to be heated up. So whether you use gas or wood or charcoal, or even sterno, you need to have some sort of cook system. So number 5 is going to be what I consider our pet preps. You've got to make sure that you have food and water set aside for your animals also. And you need to have your medications for your animals, plus a crate or some way to transport them in case of evacuation. Prepping for your bigger animals is a much more involved process. You should have an emergency plan set up for your large animals well in advance of an emergency. Okay, so number 6, we're going to be talking about first aid kits. So your first aid kit should include your medicines that you're going to have every day, whether that be Tylenol or Aleve or what have you. Plus, you're going to want to make sure that whenever possible, you go ahead and fill your prescriptions prior to the storm. That way, in case, for whatever reason, the power is out, you can't get to the pharmacy to fill your prescriptions, or you have to evacuate, you'll go ahead and have everything you're going to need day to day. Your first aid kit should also include a tourniquet and some bandages and stuff in case you in some way get a major cut or abrasion or something during the storm or during cleanup from the storm. Okay, so number 7 is going to be illumination. You need some kind of light at night. You don't want to be stuck with that light. So you guys know me. One of my favorite things is this Lucy light. Now these things aren't that expensive. They're like 15, 16 bucks. They're not that expensive. And they've got this little solar panel on top. And these also, this particular one is the, I think this is the 2.0 Lucy light here. I believe this is the 2.0. This actually has if you look close, it actually has a USB port. So you can charge this with a USB, or you can actually use this to top up your phone or mobile device if you need to. So that's a nice thing about these Lucy lights. Another thing that you can do that really gets overlooked a lot is your solar powered lawn lights. Now they're not the best light. They're not gonna, you're not gonna set them up in your living room and look like your lights are on. But you can take one of those, just the small lawn lights. They're $2 or $3 a piece. Take those things, set them outside during the day, let them charge. And they'll normally last 6 to 8 hours. Bring them in at night. You can set one in your bathroom, one in your living room, one in your bedroom. And, for $12, for $12, $15, something like that, you can literally light up most of the rooms you're going to need in your house. So don't forget to look up alternate sources of light. Now, I also have one of these hanging lanterns. It's a candle lantern. And I have some of these 9-hour candles. It's actually pretty bright. But if you're in a household where you have kids, maybe an open flame is not the best plan. But candles are definitely a good backup if that's something you want to do. Now, just like I just said, topping up your cell phone. That leads me to my next point. So number 8, I can't even do. So number 8 is going to be rechargeable batteries, power banks, things like this for your mobile devices, and also for like emergency radios and stuff. So you need to have some power banks that are charged up. Make sure you have those power banks charged up. And you're going to want to use, during the storms, you're going to want to use your devices sparingly. Now, the nice thing about these is you can plug this thing into the charger in your car, and you can charge your power banks in your car if you had to. Like this power bank here will give me 3 charges on my cell phone. So that being the case, you know, that to me that's worth it. In the time it takes to charge this up, I could charge my cell phone 1 time, or I could charge this up and have my cell phone charged for 3 times. Hey guys, so I was sitting here editing this video and I realized that I didn't mention anything about emergency radios. Emergency radios are very important. That should have been at the top of this list. So your kit should always have an emergency radio. I know I kind of just skimmed over it real quick when I was talking about the battery packs, but definitely you want to have a emergency radio so you can keep up with the storm and keep up with what they're saying that you need to do as far as whether or not you need to evacuate or take shelter. Now, number 10 on my list is waterproof storage. In case of a breach of the roof, you're going to want to have some way to protect your irreplaceable items, birth certificates, you know, just marriage certificates, just anything that's irreplaceable, that means a lot to you. Pictures, for instance. It's good to go ahead and have something ready that you can store all that stuff in case, you know, the roof gets torn off, your windows get blown in. You want to have that stuff protected. So waterproof storage, that's my number 10. So my number 9 is going to be emergency repair supplies. Now that's going to be your plywood for your windows before the storm, or tarps like this for repairs after the storm. You're also going to want to make sure you have plenty of rope and duct tape, and also hand tools that you can use to make repairs after the storm. Now, number 11 is going to be a go bag or a bug out bag. In case of an evacuation, if they come over the radio or the television or whatever, if they say you can't stay, you got to go. For those on coastal areas, low-lying areas, what have you, you've got to evacuate. You need to have a bag ready to go with, you know, changes of clothes, medicines like we talked about, all the stuff that we have previously talked about. You need to have some form of that in your go bag so you can grab it and get on the road. Okay, so last but certainly not least is going to be having a actual evacuation plan. So you need to have a plan on what you're going to do if they say you've got to go. Being prepared for a hurricane encompasses a lot of things, but you need to really have a plan together. That's going to include also having a hard copy of emergency telephone numbers, families' telephone numbers, addresses, things like that. You want to make sure that you have, even written down passwords and things like that, just in case, because, when it all comes down and it gets hectic, some of those things can be hard to remember. So you need to make sure you have a hard copy of that kind of stuff. But like I said, you need to have, above all else, definitely need to have an evacuation plan together, just in case they come at the last minute and say, you got to go. Okay, I can hear you. Sean, why are you not talking about generators? Why are you not talking about chainsaws? Well, to be honest with you, this is a basic hurricane preparedness video. This is 12 basic hurricane preps. So we're talking about the small things that you can do to be ready for a hurricane. Now, yes, I believe that if it's within your power, you should have a generator. It should be correctly installed with a transfer switch and everything. A lot of people don't realize a generator that's installed incorrectly can kill the lineman trying to get your power back on. It can backfeed that line, and a dead line can become hot because of your generator. So it's very important to make sure that your generator is correctly installed with a transfer switch, so it's not going to backfeed that line. Now, chainsaws. Yes, I believe chainsaws should be in your kit if you are trained to use a chainsaw. A chainsaw is an incredible tool. You can get a lot of work done with a chainsaw. A chainsaw can maim or kill you in an instant if you don't know what you're doing. I didn't really go into depth or detail on those today, and that's the reason, because they're more of a bigger, more involved prep, and this is just for basic preps in this video. I just wanted to throw those things out there because I know I'm going to hear about those probably in the comments. So if you haven't already, go over to my buddy T2's channel, the Titan Preparedness channel. He's got a new video out on how prepared are you for the hurricanes. I would suggest you go over and check out his channel. This guy's got some great videos. I would suggest going hit that subscribe button for his channel and watch all of his videos, the backlog of his videos. He's got some great stuff over there. But I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you'll get notified the next time we put out a video. But thanks again for watching this video, guys. I'll see you next time.